Hey guys, so today we're going to be making some vegan birria tacos. Yes, vegan. I made these with some jackfruit, and so they came out really good. I was surprised at how well the texture came out, but they tasted really good, and I'm really excited to share this recipe. So we're going to start out with 4 cans of jackfruit, and so I'm just going to rinse these because the jackfruit in the can, sometimes it has it's in the brine, and so we want a really neutral taste for the jackfruit, and so we're going to rinse these so that we can boil them. So after you rinse the jackfruit, we're going to start on our chili sauce. So I'm going in with 1 Pasilla chili, 3 to 4 Guajillo chilies, and then 1 Ancho chili. And so it's up to you how many chilies you want depending on the spice level, but I thought this created a decent amount of spice for our jackfruit birria. And so I'm just taking the seeds out of the chilies, and so once I'm done de-seeding them, I'm going to rinse the chilies, and I'm going to put the chilies in a pot on the stove and boil it for about 20 minutes just to rehydrate the chilies, and then we're going to blend all of our ingredients together for the sauce. And so we're just going to boil the jackfruit for about an hour, and then we're going to strain it, rinse it off, and then we're going to boil it again for another hour. So your jackfruit, this is after the second time boiling it, so I'm just rinsing it off, and it should be nice and tender at this point. You don't have to worry about removing the seeds. They should be soft enough to eat, and so I'm just smushing it up a little bit, kind of breaking it up to shred it, and then we're going to squeeze as much liquid out of these as possible, and then I'll show you guys the next step. So this is what the jackfruit looks like after I've squeezed out the extra liquid. And so now I am just making some broth for the birria sauce. And so I'm going in with a Not Beef Bouillon Cube. I got this from my local specialty store. And so it's vegan friendly. And so I'm just putting in 2 cubes of those into 4 cups of water. And then that's just going to be our broth. Just like with the beef birria tacos, you would have like a beef broth with it, but this is the vegan substitute. And so now we're going to blend up our chili sauce. So this is these are the chilies that we boiled on the stove, and then I'm adding in about 4 of those chipotle chili peppers into there, and then we're going to go in with some Mexican oregano, some thyme, a little bit of ground cloves, not too much, a little bit of ground ginger. This is some sugar, and then we're just going to blend it until it is smooth. I will make sure that I put the ingredients in the description box below. And so now I'm just going in a pot with some olive oil. We're just going to saute the jackfruit for a little bit. And so now I'm adding in the vegan friendly broth to our jackfruit, and then I'm also going to add 4 cups of water. so we're just going to use our chili sauce that we blended up. We're going to put it through a strainer and kind of push it through into our jackfruit mixture and just stir it up. And so we're going to season our jackfruit with some salt, some pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, whatever seasonings you want to use. Y'all, this jackfruit ain't got no flavor, so you make sure you season it very well. Since we created like this neutral taste to the jackfruit, you want to make sure that you season it up really, really well, because I mean, it's not beef, so it's not going to create that fat, or like it's not going to have the same flavor as like a meat. So you're going to want to season it pretty aggressively. And so I'm just putting half of an onion inside of our birria. I saw another YouTuber do that, and so I decided to do that just to add some flavor. And so this is after the jackfruit cooked for about 45 minutes in that broth. And so I am just trying to strain off some of that liquid and saute it for a little bit, because I learned from me trying to assemble these tacos the first time that all the extra liquid is gonna make your taco soggy. So I learned real quick. So I'm just gonna saute this up until it's pretty dry, but it still had tons of flavor. But I am trying to get all of that excess liquid off of it, because it does not create fat like beef or any other meat. And so I had to get all the excess liquid off. And so now I'm just crisping up some flour tortillas. I did corn tortillas the first time, but those turned out soggy. Again, my jackfruit had too much liquid on it, and so that's why I recommend sauteing it. And so I'm just going in with some plant-based mozzarella cheese, some dairy-free cheese of your choice. I'm just using mozzarella. The Violife brand is pretty good. But we just had the So Delicious in our kitchen already, and that's what I'm using. I'm not using a ton of cheese because, again, it's vegan cheese, so it is different. And so I feel like that created like a soggy taco the first time I did it too. So I didn't put a whole bunch of cheese on mine, but feel free to use whatever kind of cheese you want and however much you want. And I'm just putting the jackfruit on there, and then we're going to assemble our tacos just like you would with the beef or meat birria tacos. I'm putting some onions and some cilantro in there, and then we're just going to crisp these up. And so I am going to put a little bit of the broth on top of on the tacos just for the color. I wouldn't put too much on there because, again, it's broth, so it doesn't have fat in it like your traditional meat would. And so I would be careful not to put too much on there. And maybe in the future I would tweak this recipe to add a little more oil or something into my broth just so that it could have a little more fat. But it still turned out great. Had good flavor. The texture was good. Definitely labor intensive, but it was worth it. I'm glad it worked out in the end, because y'all, the time it took to prepare the jackfruit itself, I was scared that I wasn't gonna like it in the end, but it was really good, y'all. So I highly recommend making this if you are looking for a meat substitute. And this is the finished product. It was really good. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.